Tony D and Little Joan with a screenwriter's rant on The Inspection. A story about a kid who wants to become a Marine. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books, links in the description. Comedy Horror in South Jersey. It's The Pineys, books 1 through 9, available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle, unlimited is free. So this kid on the left wants to become a Marine, and he's got kind of a rough life. His mother's not very supportive, and he has to get her to give up her his birth certificate so he could join, and she doesn't seem to care all that much about him. And he's kind of I guess you'd call like a weak kid, or he wants to be strong. He wants to be a Marine, and so he sees stuff on TV about it and decides to sign up. And I'm not inspired by true events. I'm not a guy who's like a big military guy. But this seems like a cool movie because, they've got some conflict going here, but it doesn't seem to be racially motivated or anything. Just seems like he's the weak kid that they're picking on. And he's got nothing. Like, his mom's not very supportive. He says all his friends are either dead or in jail. And he desperately wants to be a Marine. So his death will mean something. And it's like, wow. That's a great scene because it's like, he's got nothing, man. He's got nothing. You just feel so bad for him. So he desperately wants this more than anything. And I guess the inspection is the final inspection. And there's always some guy in the platoon they end up picking on because he's a little weak or he's slow. And they pick on the rest of the unit because of that. And they basically try to motivate the other guys to get him to drop out or, Here's the cast. Do I know any of these guys? Some of these names sound familiar, but they don't ring a bell, immediately. So it's called The Inspection. I don't think we have any other credits. Yeah, we don't have a date. Coming soon. Starring Jeremy Pope and Raul Castillo. I guess this is Jeremy Pope here, because he seems to be the main character. And then the drill sergeant, I think. There's also seemingly a gay scene in it. Not sure what that's all about, but they touch on it briefly. I'm not so sure what that's all about, but I assume it takes place in the modern day. Maybe he's gay. I assume this guy is Raul Castillo, because he seems to be like the next character that has a lot of lines and whatnot. Maybe his mentor or maybe his tormentor, depending on how you look at it. It doesn't look bad. I mean, I like the setup because, man, he's broken, right? He's got nothing. And even his own mom's kind of indifferent to his suffering. So I got to really feel for the character that all he wants to be is a Marine just to give his life a little meaning. That's a good setup, And then it's about, I assume, him becoming a Marine. So I would break it down. The first act is about how broken his life is. And I think there's a lot about his life here because there's several different cuts of it. He sees on TV that the Marines are doing something good. So based on true events, maybe this is based on a real guy, he decides he's going to join the Marines. His mother's not supportive, but he just barely gets the birth certificate from her so he could go do it because she doesn't really give a crap about him. His friends are either dead or in jail. He's got nothing left to lose, so he joins the Marines. He barely gets in, and then right away he's having a problem, right? He's kind of a weak, timid kid. They're trying to drum him out, and he's got to overcome all the obstacles. So that the second act is going to be basic training. I think most of the movie is going to be basic training. He's trying to get through basic training. I don't know, maybe he's gay and he falls in love with one of the other Marines. I'm not quite sure. Or maybe that's a cause for the tension between him and the other Marines, right? Because that maybe doesn't go over. It depends on the era here. This looks pretty modern, so maybe it's not such a big deal. But it still could be a big deal, right? So maybe they go after him because, well, he's gay and the other guy didn't want to come out, and then they had a thing and he's denying it, and rather than protect the guy he had sex with, he throws him under a bus and says, no, he's the gay one, let's beat him up or something like that. I don't know. And then it's kind of like Officer and a Gentleman, only gay, I guess. He gets through the worst of it and he becomes a Marine. And then we get a crawl at the end of the movie. What happened to him? Did he go to Iraq and die, or did he, and save a bunch of people? Maybe he becomes like some super decorated guy who died, or maybe he becomes a super decorated guy who lived and he's alive today, and they show you the real picture of him. I hope he's alive. But it looks very dramatic. I mean, war movies often are for various reasons, but this is a modern war movie, and a lot of times the drama is kind of sucked out of it for me because these are modern conflicts that are so poorly thought out. I guess he is gay because he's hugging this guy here in his life before the Marines, so I think he might be gay. I don't know. Doesn't really matter, but the movie looks solidly written. There's his mom. Maybe the mother comes around after he graduates and he wins her over. He looks a little skinny for a Marine, but maybe he muscles up and goes and becomes a great hero. I don't know. I that's the ending I want to see, right? I want to see a hopeful ending where like he goes over there and man, he becomes one of the most decorated Marines, and he just becomes a great guy and overcomes all the adversity. It seems a little dark. Maybe that doesn't happen. Kind of hard to tell from the trailer, but I think it'll end positively for him. I think so. Or maybe we get sort of like semi-positive that he went over there and died, but he died valiantly doing what he loved, kind of thing. So yeah, I mean, this looks like a good drama movie. Solid premise. So you got to start low. You got to start low with your characters. This is the problem with, and I hate to mention it again because I've been talking about it all week, but She-Hulk. She-Hulk, the characters starting from way up here. I think the women writing her, think that she's starting down here, but no, she's not. She's starting way up here. She's a lawyer. She's a woman. She's in a privileged position, as they would say, and then you're supposed to like her. No. See, I like this guy because he's starting down here. He's got nothing, man. He's got nothing. All he wants is a little respect in his life. His own mother, is almost thinks he's superfluous. There's a line in the movie where she says, "I could have left you at a doorstep." It's like, oof. When your own mother says that, that's like, oof, man. That's drama. So I think this will be good. Yeah, I think this will be good. I'm not sure where it's going to pop out at. I could see this getting at least some amount of theatrical release. Not seeing a tremendous reason to go see it in the theaters, but you could, I guess. The music's solid enough, kind of epic. If it's based on a true story, maybe we will see some war scenes, or towards the end, maybe we see some of his service right in the third act and his final fate, where he saves somebody and then goes home. I could see that. At the very least, I think it'd be worth easy. You all right? It'd be worth streaming. If you want to see a war drama, sure. I mean, it's not going to be funny. I'll tell you what's not funny. Your breath, Joan, stinks. It stinks. Sorry, I had to be real with you. Sorry about that. Anyhow, that's it for me, Tony D and Little Joan. I will be at Lucille's Luncheonette on Saturday in the Pines. Yes, for a book signing. This is a big book signing for me. There's a giant statue of the Jersey Devil there. They also serve the Jersey Devil cheesesteak. I'm going to be there from 9 to 1. I'm very excited about going into the Pines in Warren Grove to do a signing at Lucille's Luncheonette on Saturday, 9 a.m. to 1. Hope to see you there, and I hope to see you tomorrow.